talking to you guys about DUI, DWI, and the consequences it can have on lives, your wallet, and how is the law. Credibility you need to know. I got all my facts from DUI.lifetips.com, dailyfinance.com, and westvirginia.ed. westvirginia.ed. First thing we'll be talking about will be the law. Does anybody know what the drinking limit is nationwide outside of these gates?
108?
108. 0.08? That is correct, sir. 0.08. 0.08. You have, it depends on the body. So I can't say you have one drink, you're going to be busting the limit. I can't say you have two drinks, you're going to be busting the limit. But the point is, once you crack that one drink, just don't drive. Don't do it. As Americans, for every 27,000 miles that we drive while drunk, we get arrested for DUI, DWI, driving while under the influence. That being said, it can happen to you. It can happen to any one of us. You want to take a chance and you want to get out there, you want to drive the miles, and you think you're above the law, it's going to come back to get you. Next we'll be talking about how DUI, DWI affects people's lives due to injury or death. One person is killed every half hour due to drinking and driving. 16,000 people die each year due to alcohol-related crashes. I'm going to go into a little side story here about one of my friends. When I was growing up, his name was Kenny. He decided to get behind the wheel and drink and drive. He was exactly the person I was talking about when we were talking about the law. It can't happen to him. He can get away with it. That stuff happens to everybody else. But one night, he decides to drink over the limit, go out there, get on the street, gets into an accident, and he doesn't get wounded, but the other family gets wounded. Actually, one of their children dies. Needless to say, he is spending his lovely time in jail right now. Probably thinking about not drinking and driving anymore, for one, and the mistakes he made, for two. So basically what it boils down to, it's not only your life that you have to take into effect, it's the lives of the others on the road. So you should think about that every time you crack a beer and want to get behind the wheel and drink and drive. DWI, DUI can cost money. I don't know about you guys, but the Army ain't paying me enough. I know the Army ain't paying y'all enough, so we can't afford it. DUI, DWIs can cost up to $4,000, $5,000, and that's before you even bring the lawyers in. I know a lot of you guys have children, families to go back home to. You can't do it. You can't afford it. I can't afford it. So let's talk about how this would affect your job, because your job is what brings money in, right? So say you get a DWI, DUI, you have to take time out of work, you have to go to court, you got to pay your lawyer fees, then you got to come back on this side of the house, and you got to go up and see the big man, and you know you're going to get kicked out. You ain't making this money no more, and you have to pay for that money that you lost. So you don't want to do it. I'm going to wrap this speech up with just a brief summary of what we talked about. We talked about the law and how it's the law. You have to abide by it. One, we talked about how it can affect your life and other lives on the road. For two, and then third, we talked about the expense of driving under the influence, things you can't do. So the bottom line is, don't do it. That concludes my speech.